All right, so this week we are learning about magnetism, and there's a few things I'm going to show you today. One of the things that you should see is that there's a couple rules for magnets, and one of those is that like poles will repel and unlike poles will attract. And so I'm going to show you, I've got two bar magnets right here, and you can see that there's a north and a south pole labeled on each one. And so when I go to put my like poles together, they want to push against each other. But if I turn it around and I put my unlike poles, so north and south together, they will attract to each other. And so that's one thing that you'll need to make sure that you know, is that your like poles will repel and your unlike poles will attract. Something else that Ms. Talent talks about in the video is how to make a your permanent magnets are ones that are magnetized all the time, like this bar magnet. But you can create a temporary magnet. Electromagnets are one, but you could also take a nail, and you can take it and you want to take one of the poles and you're going to strike it in the same direction over and over again. You have to do this numerous times, and you can magnetize this iron nail. This nail is made of magnetic material, but it is not a magnet. But I can use a permanent magnet and create a temporary magnet with it. So the more I strike it, it's going to align its domains. It's going to align its domains and create it into a temporary magnet, and we can show that.
Dad, found something. Found another magnet.
After striking the nail in the same direction numerous times, you can see that now I don't have the magnet anywhere near it, but the paper clip is attracted to the nail, which makes it a temporary magnet. Another temporary magnet would be an electromagnet. And so what we're going to do today is, you should have some wire, and I think those of you that picked up packets from the school have some of this material in your baggies, but you should have some wire. On the ends, you want to make sure you take a piece of sandpaper, just cut a small square, and you want to sand off the insulator that's on the ends of it, on both ends, and this is where you're going to connect it to your battery, so forth. So I've got a little battery pack here. I'm going to connect these. I've already got the coils made, but if you've not, then you want to make sure you take the nail. You want to leave a little bit of room on the end, and you just coil the wire around the nail. So I've got 50 coils to start with. The more coils you have, the stronger your electromagnet's going to be. There's 3 ways to make your electromagnet strong, and that one way is to add an iron cord. So we've got an iron nail right here. Another way is to add more coils, and so I've got 50 coils, but you can add more to it. You should see that the less coils you have, the weaker that magnet's going to be. And then the third way would be to add more electric current, so you could add more batteries to it and so forth. So I've got our electromagnet set up, and Gunner, you're going to help me with this. I need you to lean back for just a second on your stool. We're going to hang this off the edge because it will get hot the longer it's attached to it. And so we're going to take paper clips and we're going to start attaching them to the nail. And we're going to see, right, you're going to see how many yours can hold to test the strength. Yes, go ahead, bud. There you go.
It's not wiggling.
You want to add some more?
Yes.
All right, try that one. And you will continue to add electromagnets until it won't hold them anymore. Once it stops holding them, then it's reached its strength.
I like two.
But until it gets to that point, you just keep adding them, and then you calculate how many you had on there. And then you can always add more coils to it and test it again to see if it did in fact increase the strength of it. And then you can, once you figure out how much it can hold with one, then you can add a second battery and again add your paper clips to see how many it can hold with 2, and then compare your data that way to see just how much the strength of 1 and the strength of 2 varies. And so there's some simple little do-it-yourself things you can do at home to to play around with magnets and test it out, and goes along with your chapter as well. Remember, rules for magnets: like poles will repel and your unlike poles will attract. So a north pole and a south pole will attract, and a north pole and a north pole, or a south pole and a south pole will repel. You can create a temporary magnet by taking a permanent magnet and striking an object made of magnetic material in the same direction numerous times, just like we did with the nail.
Daddy, look at this.
And an electromagnet is another example of a temporary magnet. It's only magnetized when the wires are connected, and when you disconnect those wires, then it will not be magnetized anymore. And I hope you enjoy that.